going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and tonight I'm here to talk about the cinematic event of a lifetime. That's right. I'm calling this the cinematic event of a lifetime because it was one of the great, this is a good movie. I'm talking about the Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie. Before I get into it, I'm going to remind you guys, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch as well. That's right. We be getting lit on Twitch every Thursday night with BrickWall, the podcast. Make sure y'all tune in every Thursday night. And like I said, follow us on all other social media platforms. We're out there. We just be on there, mainly on Twitter. Holla at your boy. So, getting into it, I'm hyped right now because this movie was good. If y'all saw my review way back when the first Paw Patrol movie came out, y'all would know that I absolutely loved that movie. It was great. It was a really good movie. It was a lot more than I would have expected from a Paw Patrol movie, but at the same time, exactly what I would have expected from a Paw Patrol movie. It was very simple, very to the point, very sweet. It didn't try to be edgy. It didn't try to be extra. It was just a kids movie for the sake of being a kids movie. Something that I feel like the market has been missing. There's no crazy jokes. There's no crazy this and that. It's just a movie for kids based on a popular preschool television show, and all it does is just exist in its purest form. And the sequel was announced, and I was excited. I was like, wow, where can we go from here? What does the sequel to the Paw Patrol movie look like? Do they lose their sauce? Does it not be as good? Does it not live up to the expectation that we set for it? I don't know. But I will tell you positively that coming into this movie, man, let me tell you something, yo. Let me tell you. This movie was such a good follow-up. It was such a good follow-up, for real. Like, I enjoyed this. So this movie follows the Paw Patrol as they gain superpowers from a meteor that is falling to Earth, right? Falling to Adventure City, that is drawn there by a scientist, a mad scientist who doesn't want to admit that she's a mad scientist, but she's a mad scientist. And the meteor contains chunks of special superpower crystals or whatever that gives these pups superpowers. And they all get their powers with the exception of one, but this isn't about that one. It kind of is, but kind of not. And yeah, it just shows, you got the return of Humdinger. You got your brand new villain, the mad scientist, who is played by Taraji P. Henson, who does an amazing job. And yeah, it's just about them just trying to save Adventure City. It's a very straightforward movie, a very straightforward plot. And so if you saw the first Paw Patrol movie, you know that movie kind of focused more on Chase, the police dog. This movie focuses more on Sky, the aerial dog, the girl dog who does she flies the jets and things like that. And I like this. I like what they do with the movies, right? Because in the first one, you got this backstory on Chase. You got to kind of see how he became a part of the Paw Patrol, what his life was before then. It was very nice and cute and heartbreaking, but heartwarming story of how him and Ryder found each other. And this one, it goes into Sky's backstory. And let me tell you something. There was something so beautiful about little baby Sky, who was just a little puppy, and her little situation. When Ryder came and found her, I know I'm being extra right now, but for real, like that part was really I was like, oh my God, I love that. I love that they use these movies not just to make entertainment and make a solid freaking film, excuse my language, but they also take advantage of the fact that, hey, we have the groundwork and we have the leeway to actually give a little bit of an origin, to give a little context behind these pups and their relationship to Ryder and just why they're such a part of the team. What makes this pup special to the team? What does this pup bring to the table? And it's so wholesome. It's just so wholesome. And it's like, if they keep making these movies and they focus on each pup, like they already got two out the way, if they focus on other pups, like it won't really get repetitive, I feel. as long as and I feel like they can keep it fresh. I know a third one has already been announced to be in production and to be released in the next 2 years. That will make it 2025, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So that will make it, I don't know what year it is. That will make it 2025 when the next one will release. And I just feel like there's a formula here, but it also kind of mixes things up. And I would love to see how a third one does. I'm excited. So getting back to this movie, like I said, this the pups, they find themselves, and so they get their superpowers. And Sky, her story arc in the movie is that she feels because she's the smallest pup that she's not as valuable to the team. She should be bigger. She should be, she should be growing. She doesn't again, like I said, she doesn't add much value. She feels like she doesn't add much value because she's not a big pup. There's nothing about her and there's no qualities about her. But when she gets this superpower and she gains this power of flight and strength, like she's so very confident in herself. So is the rest of the team when they get their crystals and they become power, they get their powers. Chase gets super speed, Rubble gets wrecking ball. Zuma gets he's able to turn into water. Marshall's able to make fireballs. And I went over Chase and Sky already. And then there's Liberty returning, voiced by Marcy Martin. And Liberty was in the first movie. And her power isn't revealed until later in the film, which is such a cute moment. But besides all the cute moments, this is at its core somewhat of a superhero movie. So where are the superheroes? Does this go hard in superheroes? If y'all remember what I said about the first movie, I said the first movie was on par with an Avengers movie. This was on par with the this was on par with an Avengers movie too, okay? I was going to say a Captain Marvel movie, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But this was on par with a superhero movie. Again, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. They are 2 for 2 with these movies. And this was so fun to watch. And there are moments in this movie, like when they get to the big, and again, like the action sequences aren't like crazy pulling rabbits out of the hat and doing all these crazy heroics. It's as simple as it needs to be, but it is also exciting. I can imagine myself being a little kid who was obsessed with Paw Patrol, seeing this movie and going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm an adult doing that. I had such a great time watching this. I'm fresh out of the movie too, in case you were wondering. I had such a great time watching this movie with my kids. They loved it. I loved it. If they love it, I love it by default. You know what I'm saying? But I loved this movie probably more than any kid in the audience. And there was a kid who came in there and was like, Sky's my favorite. The Paw Patrol, there they are. And I'm sitting there like, yo, this is so freaking dope. Like some of the action sequences in this movie are actually really amazing. And there's one part, getting back to my Captain Marvel comparison, where Sky goes full Captain Marvel. I mean, like when she goes all binary and like mad fucking powerful, Sky goes there. And I was like, yo, and it's just one part I'm like, yo, they don't gotta do this though. Y'all don't have to do this. And they did it. And I'm like, y'all didn't have to do that. That was just incredible. Again, I cannot say this now. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was really good. It had moments, and there was one, oh man, this part that almost brought tears to my eyes. So, their motto, even in the theme song, is no jobs too big, no pups too small. They give, and I kid you not, people, look at me, you looking at me, you listening to me. They give context on that phrase, that little tiny catchphrase. No jobs too big, no pups too small. They give context of where that came from, why they use it, and it was literally the part of the movie that made me get ready to cry, because it's just like, yo, y'all did not have to do that. You did. You had no right to do it. You could have just made a generic film, and it's just like these Paw Patrol movie directors, producers, writers, actors, whatever the hell else is involved in this process, animators, everything. They're just like, we're going to make the best movie possible out of the Paw Patrol. which if you watch the Paw Patrol series, you gotta know there's not much really you can pull, but they pull and they pull and they pull the greatest things out of the series to the point where I don't even really watch the series. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I watched the series the other day because my daughter had it on, and I was sitting there, I'm just like, how did they pull 2 movies out of this? How did they do it? This is amazing. It's amazing what they were able to do with the Paw Patrol 2 times. And I'm betting that the third one's gonna be just as good. I'm telling you, this movie was it was great, and there are great laughs in here. I remember I was saying in the first movie they had a meta reference, just one little meta reference, a tongue-in-cheek reference, if you will, where they're like, oh, well, how do we get all the money to pay for this stuff anyway? Paw Patrol merchandise. This stuff sells like hotcakes. And it's kind of like a wink, wink. Come on, parents, you know, all this merchandise. Yeah, that's how you fund this. So that was a cute little tongue-in-cheek moment because, you know, as parents, we're like, oh, yeah, no, of course. Like, of course we pay for the Paw Patrol. Yeah, our kids love this merchandise. We can't escape it. And this movie, I can't, and I will tell you this part, word for word, they literally say, oh, look at that, the Paw Patrol. Those little pups have superpowers now. And they got their brand new outfits and their brand new vehicles. Oh, man. And you know what? That also makes new merchandise. Sorry, parents. And it's like the person who's saying that, it was a newscaster played by Lil Rel Howery. It's like he literally looks at the camera and goes, he's wearing a new Paw Patrol hat. And it's like looking at the audience and goes, sorry, parents, we had to. It's like, and in that moment, like literally, like all the adults in the theater just bust out laughing because it's like, and a couple of them kind of took a second to catch on, like, oh, wait a minute, like, because it's like, you know what, you're right. We are gonna buy this new merchandise for our kids because they're gonna want it. And thank you for apologizing to us and realizing that. But you know what you did. You know what you. It's like this movie is not afraid to say, like, yeah, you know, we're still a commercial for products. Like, we still got to push some product, but they still go out of their way to make a very good quality movie. And that's the thing that I really like about it. It will be so easy for this movie to just be just a basic, no effort thing, right? Like it would be so easy to just throw in a bunch of toilet humor, fart jokes, and lowbrow talking down to the child audience that you're there for. But this movie does not do that, and it avoids it at every turn. It's so clever, but it's clever by not trying to be clever. Every piece of humor that comes in this movie comes from naturally comes from these characters. And these are who these characters are. This is what I love about TV shows who make the transition to theatrical films. They more often than not, they tend to keep the essence of the show. And the greatest transitions keep the essence of the characters that you enjoy. And I feel, again, I cannot say this enough, I feel like with the Paw Patrol, as basic and as bare bones as that show is, they find so much to pull from it. And it's just each of the characters has like emotion, ethos, pathos, those words. I know those words kind of. They have so much emotion. They have so much relatability. They're just so likable that it's like, wow. And then every one of them has a great moment and a defining characteristic that makes you either like them, want to know more about them, or just like enjoy when they're around the other pups and are interacting. It's such a good, this was like, I'm sorry, like this is 2 for 2 for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I very much enjoyed this movie. If you can't tell by now, I enjoyed it. Also, here's a caveat for this movie though. This movie has a short film in front of it featuring Dora the Explorer. An animated short film played before this movie that is based on Dora the Explorer because she has a new show coming out. So it's pretty much like a little sneak peek of the show, but it's made for the big screen because this one part where she's like, come on, kids, say swipe or no swiping. Parents, drop your popcorn. Say swipe or no swiping. And even though none of the adults or kids in my theater were down for that, I almost yelled out because I grew up on Dora. Come on, I'm old enough to have grown up on Dora. I almost yelled out, "Swiper, no swiping!" But nobody was going to back me up. Like, I ain't hear nobody else trying to back it up. I was going to set the example, but, I wasn't. If I'd have been a little bit more hype, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I, like, because I got the theater a little late and everything like that. And then, like, I kind of missed, like, the first couple of minutes of short because I was going out and, taking care of some concession needs, popcorn, drinks, all that good stuff. But, if I was in there the whole time and if I got there, early, seeing all the trio, got myself relaxed and comfortable in the theater and everything, I would have probably said, "Swiper, no swiping. Come on, everybody. Let's go. We all know this." But, I didn't. So whatever. But this was a great movie. All right. I say all that to say this was a great movie. Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. It's just, and it, again, like just like the first one made me love Chase and Ryder, this one makes me love Sky and Ryder and Liberty. And then I think they even set up the Rebel spinoff in this. Because Rebel has a spinoff coming on Nick Jr. I've been hearing about that a lot. Like they showed the commercial and everything. I think this even set up the spinoff. Like this is crazy. This is crazy. This was such a great movie. And the other cameo appearances are celebrity appearances. You got Chris Rock in here, Serena Williams, Kim Kardashian, Northwest, Saint West. Who else was in here? I already said Taraji, who does an amazing job as the villain. I love that. Humdinger's back, and those cats are back, and it's all just really, really good. And it doesn't try to overstay its welcome. It doesn't try to go bigger, but it just does more. It doesn't concern itself with trying to be a bigger movie in the superhero landscape or anything. It just, hey, and it's crazy because the Mighty Pups was a storyline on the Paw Patrol already. For parents who know the kids watching Paw Patrol, the superhero pups is not a foreign concept to Paw Patrol, but they take this and make it fresh. This movie was great. Okay, I'm going to overstay my welcome by continuing to repeat myself, but I must say, and I must tell you, this movie was great. It currently sits at, I believe, an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Listen, it's no surprise that I'm giving this movie a 5-star review. 5 out of 5 stars. This was good. This was as good as the first one, if not better. I mean, there are some flaws in there that, like, I mean, yeah, there are a little bit of flaws, but it's not like anything where it's just like, oh, that made the movie bad. Like, it's just like, oh, well, maybe this could have been a little different, or maybe that could have been a little different. But it's just like, it's an hour and 36 minutes, and it does not overstay its welcome. Even like the climactic battles, they get there, they get to the point, they finish it. And that's it. They don't waste time. It just moves so fluidly, so well. And it's just, man, it's amazing, yo. And Ryder is honestly one of the best animated characters out right now. He runs the damn Paw Patrol. That's a G. But let me stop, okay? Because I'm 18 minutes of talking the Paw Patrol. I don't want to hit 20 minutes. So that's my review. Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, came out in theaters today as of this recording, the September 29th. So it is now playing in theaters. It will soon be streaming on Paramount Plus, but I do encourage you to take your kids, take yourself to go see this movie. It is not a waste of time. It is not a childish film. You will not feel like a big old man baby or woman baby. It is a good film, and it is short, sweet. It's sweet, simple, to the point, and it's a pleasure and it's a joy to watch, and I cannot wait for the third movie to release, and I will be there on opening night, just like I was for this one. I will be there, Lord willing, to watch the third Paw Patrol movie when it releases with my kids. So that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this review. If you have any comments, thoughts, leave them down in the comment section down below. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Tune into the podcast every Thursday night, Life's BrickWall, only on Twitch. And until next time, guys, be easy, stay breezy, peace.